So it finally happened. Trump and Putin met in Anchorage, Alaska, and declared meeting as productive, whatever that means. What they called a press conference then, to which BBC lashed with a wit question in their article, when is a press conference not a press conference, where there are no questions? So presidents declared productivity and did not took any questions from journalists. So there's absolutely no specifics on that said productivity, and Kyiv was not involved. Then Trump called Zelensky and European leaders, and in this regard I have a lot of questions, just as everybody else on the face of this earth, and since everyone on the face of the earth seems to be a natural-born expert in international politics these days, I'm just happy to welcome a professional in our studio, someone who not only has a right to talk about what actually happened as Ukrainian, but also possesses the expertise necessary to do so as a former ambassador of Ukraine to the United States, Mr. Valerii Chalyi. Mr. Chalyi, thank you so very much for your time and for your trust.
Thank you for inviting me.
Right, so let me be honest and straightforward for you. You're not easy on my questions. Is that all right with you? Because the situation just forces me to.
You know, for me, it's very easy now to make comments because I'm not now represent official.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry if I use some words that are closer to not diplomatic, not diplomatic.
Great. My first question. Well, what was it in the first place, Mr. Ambassador? I mean, I understand this is negotiation and meeting, but I mean, what just happened? So you can kill a million people. Mm-hmm. You can authorize rape, murder, burn, abduction of Ukrainian children, and then you can travel to another country, to the soil of America, the United States, and discuss what? The ongoing legitimacy of that all? Is that the new format of this is how it is going to happen these days? Or are we living in a brave new world?
You know, you're right, and we Ukrainians were emotional about it because we understand that in this situation, we do not have enough pressure to aggressor to pressure him to make a deal or make a peace or something else. At the same time, appeasement of aggressor, from my take, is not the right way how to resolve this and how to maintain sustainable peace.
Right.
But our partners, European partners, American partners, think this diplomatic way is only way how this war, the full-scale war in Europe, can be concluded and stopped. Frankly, it's not absolutely not my perception and not my take, because I think diplomatic measures, if you masterpiece of diplomacy could bring when we achieve the situation where diplomatic ways could be used. Right. But in this situation, not ready. That's the main point.
So he's just not ready yet?
Not ready. I could just repeat what I said the week before.
Right.
There's no factors. Russia not ready to go on the real peace, even ceasefire, if we understand. Right. The second thing, very important thing, this is without pressure, without sanctions. I want to remind you, this United States no implement sanctions until India tariffs for half a year of presidency of 47 president of the United States. So no additional pressure, just not to change situation. What's happened? Just willing, all of us, including our European partners, just bring peace as soon as possible because we lose a lot of people and this war must be stopped, right? Okay. But once again, it was absolutely predictable that Donald Trump will not achieve anything. Only one thing, we could discuss that. Maybe some bilateral relationship would include strategic in nuclear weapons and something like commerce. But what we understand, they even not achieve that. So if we make the story short and say one word, it's I think it's full fiasco for Donald Trump personally, for U.S. diplomacy, and unfortunately now we are in a very difficult situation after this. Not negotiation, by the way. It was not negotiation. It was
right because Kyiv was absent. It's not
no. It's not negotiation. former deputy of Secretary of State, she's mentioned, first deputy, she's mentioned this was absolutely wrong way. Meet with Russians without delegation, negotiations. It's meeting on the highest level between presidents, nothing else. And this was mistake to make this in this time, in this way, and finally we see what we just predict.
I mean, what actually happened? There is no result absolutely whatsoever. Even for Ukrainians, you can see that for the constituency of Donald Trump also, they are waiting for sanctions. Nothing happened. But before that, let me go just a week before that, or whenever it was, Trump talked to Lukashenko. I mean, what is going on? I mean, is that a club of outdated dictators?
Frankly, I also be really surprised.
Right.
Not only on this call, because possible topic of discussion I could imagine this. For example, the next meeting will be in some places what Putin insists, like Moscow or Minsk, because Putin afraid to lose security places, so he is a very in this situation, he also want to control this place, and we're sitting with somebody. Minsk is one of the best places. But, you know, in any case, what's President of the United States mentioned at the time and told of us, so this is honorable president of Belarus. So it's something new for us, because Lukashenko, he is a self-proclaimed president, not the time. So that's shame. Frankly, that's shame.
But Trump calls the negotiations friendly. He said he's friendly with Putin, and then now, as we know, what happens? You know, let us first now watch the reaction of Zelensky, what Trump said, and what European leaders said after that, because Trump called Zelensky. Please, let us watch at the moment.
A great and very successful day in Alaska. The meeting with President Vladimir Putin of Russia went very well, as did a late-night phone call with President Zelensky of Ukraine and various European leaders, including the highly respected Secretary General of NATO. It was determined by all that the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and Ukraine is to go directly to a peace agreement, which would end the war, and not mere ceasefire agreement, which oftentimes do not hold up. President Zelensky will be coming to D.C., the Oval Office, on Monday afternoon. If all works out, we will then schedule a meeting with President Putin. Potentially, millions of people's lives will be saved. Donald Trump, President of the United States.
A long, meaningful conversation with President Trump, first one-on-one, and then also with the participation of European leaders. In total, we talked for more than an hour and a half, about an hour with President Trump. Ukraine once again confirms that it is ready to work as productively as possible for the sake of peace. President Trump informed me about his meeting with the Russian leader about the main points of the conversation. It is important that America's strength influences the development of the situation. We support President Trump's proposal for a trilateral meeting between Ukraine, America, and Russia. Ukraine emphasizes that key issues can be discussed at the level of leaders, and the trilateral format is suitable for this. I am going to discuss all the details on how to stop the killing and to stop the war with President Trump in Washington on Monday. I thank him for the invitation. It is important that the Europeans are involved at all stages for the sake of reliable security guarantees together with America. We discussed positive signals from the American side regarding participation in guaranteeing security for Ukraine. We continue to coordinate our positions with all partners. Thanks to everyone who helps. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine.
Early this morning, President Trump debriefed us and President Zelensky following his meeting with the Russian president in Alaska on August 15, 2025. Leaders welcomed President Trump's efforts to stop the killing in Ukraine, end Russia's war of aggression, and achieve just and lasting peace. As President Trump said, there's no deal until there's a deal. As envisioned by President Trump, the next step must now be further talks, including President Zelensky, whom he will meet soon. We are also ready to work with President Trump and President Zelensky towards a trilateral summit with European support. We are clear that Ukraine must have ironclad security guarantees to effectively defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity. We welcome President Trump's statement that the US is prepared to give security guarantees. The coalition of the willing is ready to play an active role. No limitations should be placed on Ukraine's armed forces or on its cooperation with third countries. Russia cannot have a veto against Ukraine's pathway to EU and NATO. Collective statement by European Commission.
So, Mr. Ambassador, is it just me, or we are jumping over fire without ceasefire right to the peace agreement? How can we achieve ending the war without even achieving a ceasefire?
You know, first of all, this statement, for me, excuse for that, sorry, it's like continuous wishful thinking by European leaders. There's a strong statement bringing the decision. No. And it's not the first time. And I think personally it's a huge mistake. There's another meeting with President Zelensky after the trilateral meeting and with support of European Union partners, thanks for that. From my point of view, now will not bring the peace, even not ceasefire, if you mention. So what we receive? Nothing. We receive from this meeting no ceasefire. Even now we receive so-called partly ceasefire. There's also not a solution. So we change situation. No, President Putin won. He won with Trump. This we should recognize that and be very, very open in our discussion with European partners. What we need to do, what we must do, before the meeting with President Trump, we need to formulate our new position, new circumstances. First thing. The second thing, President of Ukraine been invited by President Trump to Washington. Very quick, like 2 days.
Right.
I think we need, if we discuss comprehensive peace, we need those on the table who will guarantee our security.
What is it?
Is it US? No. Because US was, I don't know, everybody, including Vice President and even Secretary of State, mentioned United States will be not this country who will guarantee security. Before meeting, you have heard this European said with US we will guarantee security. And Donald Trump told us, what's now? We don't know. We don't know the part of this and how we can move in ahead of Putin. If Putin now take the leadership in this situation, be frank, I've been very frank, this Putin to go very quick from international isolation. So what we need collective meeting of all these stakeholders in Europe and our partners, meeting with Donald Trump, not just leave President of Ukraine, Zelensky, alone in Oval Office. Once again, you remember what's happened previously.
Oh, I remember very well.
I trust the partners, but believe me, if you mentioned, I spent a lot of time dealing with United States and also with Russians. Russians lie. Putin lie many things. He make many things with Trump as a KGB agent.
He is a KGB agent.
Yes, I believe he will not be so successful with the group of Europeans. So what we need on this table European partners who will guarantee our security. Without these partners, this will be a great mistake. Go like 2 days next meeting, 2 days meeting with Putin. We can just...
So what would...
This approach could bring us Ukrainians to the trap. To the trap. Which trap? If President Trump next Monday will tell to our president, so I did my job,
so wash my hands.
Frankly, achieved nothing, and only one way you should take not comprehensive ceasefire, but you took what's on the table. What we have now on the table, the same as Russians want from us. Absolutely unacceptable model of capitulation. So please take this piece and I'm doing something with that without me. We must keep US in the game, not out, one thing. But in the same time, Mr. Trump, frankly, is very weak position after this meeting. So my idea, European leaders have to invite him in Brussels. Not Mr. Trump invite Europeans. One thing. Or even in this situation, it's more comfortable to him now to be in Washington. We try to find the tools and propose him how to restore his renommee, how to restore his image in this situation, how we can do it. Only three things what Mr. Trump should be just implemented. He's mentioned sanctions. You remember 100% tariffs or 500%. There's now 85 senators support. If he don't want to supply weapons to Ukraine, please sell to Germans Tomahawk. After the Russian, go from the mandatory for the treaty. And third, change this tactic. Be ahead of Putin, not just make the dance around Putin. Because I participated in negotiations with Russians many times, as with Americans. They, believe me, some partners, including the Donald Trump team, just not understand the very, very deep things that we understand as former Soviet citizens, as myself. And doing with Russians, I know them better than American administration. But Europeans, many Europeans, also understand that. Now they understand this could be the next target for Russians. And for them, it's even much more important than for Mr. Trump. So I think we are not prepared for next stages. Not prepared. And it's not the best way. It's the worst way to make the very quick step for this trap. So we should be more prepared. How to prepare? Sanctions, pressure to Russia, armaments and other things.
Sure, I understand that. We're living 4 years in Ukraine already. I mean, our TV channel was obliterated by Russian missiles. My house was hit twice by Shahed drones. I am the part of Ukraine. I've been in Bucha amongst first journalists that seen the pit in the ground full of dead bodies. I know what we're talking about.
I'm talking not about the sorry, this happened with you. It's happened.
You don't have, I mean, no, please do not be sorry. I am with the Ukrainian nation. I am doing that because I know I've been born in Latvia, and we in Latvia know what is Soviet Union. And Russia is a Soviet Union. It is an empire at the moment and nothing else. But we are expecting from Trump things that just do not happen. Mr. Ambassador.
No.
All right.
I'm a realist. I work with this administration, not that administration, 41st President Trump.
Right.
And I know the mechanisms absolutely different. This is normal. It's not about morality or ethics.
Absolutely.
No. It's just about one thing. President Trump's weak position. He's lose his renommee.
He already lost his renommee.
He is damaged. Okay. He will receive next week. He will receive. Not exit polls, but polls, social. And he will see the dropping of his position among not only among Democratic Party, but also among the MAGA.
Obviously.
Among the MAGA, because MAGA likes strong people. But how President of Ukraine, Donald Trump, can make America great again if he's weak? That's the question.
Okay.
So I understand. This is not nobody. Think about Ukrainian children. By the way, Melania Trump sent the letter to President Putin. And with inside of this letter, as we know from the journalist articles, this request from Putin to release Ukrainian children. So we understand this. There are prepare something, but it's nothing for Putin.
Yes.
He can even give some people from Russia as Lukashenko from Belarus. But is it enough to make these guys respectful to bring for respectable world? No, absolutely not. This is huge mistake, and I want to mention that this red carpet that's bring by American heroes, American soldiers, bring to Putin. I welcome Putin as Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs a long time ago in Ukraine, in Crimea. And I told him, Mr. Prime Minister, he was Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to Ukraine and Ukrainian soil in Crimea. So maybe some don't understand this has happened in 2010, but for him it was very emotional. Crimea, Ukrainian, he has never recognized this territory as Ukrainian. And now he wants to restore Soviet Union. Now he wants, after this meeting, by the way, he will be even more ambitious It's another outcome of this meeting. Putin go further, and we will see many, many surprises. So, not me, but Europeans.
Right.
So we have to act immediately for our strong measures. But diplomacy, from my point of view, should be make a pause to understand where we are. And that's why I'm not very happy as Ukrainian that we will have meeting for bilateral meeting with Mr. Trump. Frankly, I even can't predict what will be in this meeting in Oval Cabinet, next one. I'm not predicting this will be the same this was in previous. It's not very good.
Well, I mean, isn't it crazy to do an unpredictable meetings in Washington and Oval Office? It's, I mean, it could start another war, not just finish this one.
We can't avoid that.
Exactly.
I mean, Ukrainians, because another Putin goal to bring Ukraine in the position that we have broke the peace.
Right.
And that's our problem now.
Right.
But I think we have a strong position with our European partners. But my take, I think we need to have in Washington on the table not only Mr. Trump, but European leaders. Or as, it's a high level of diplomacy. Maybe ask President of Finland, Alexander Stubb, to play the golf during this weekend. But I don't know if it's possible or not. But no, it's not. Don't smile, please, because unfortunately, the traditional ways how doing diplomacy, the traditional ways how to prevent President of the United States from this trap and for this absolutely shame results of this meeting doesn't proceed, doesn't work. So we need to find something that can immediately change this situation.
You mentioned the social ratings of President Trump, that these ratings are going to drop, obviously. Yep. We see that it is going on right now.
It will dramatically change after this, after this
Mr.
meeting.
Ambassador, absolutely, yeah. I agree. But let's imagine, God forbid, let's imagine that you are the MAGA follower and you want to make America great again, and you heard from your president and from a future Nobel Prize winner and whatever, from a nominee, that he promises, your president promises you to sanction aggressor. In many times he promised that. We all heard, he was very vocal about that. Finally, there will be sanctions. There will be sanctions if the deal is not sealed. And now the deal is not sealed and there are no sanctions. How can you actually justify what just happened? Wouldn't you feel, as a MAGA follower, as a MAGA adept, betrayed by your president? No?
First, I will not pretend to be MAGA, and I know many Ukrainians from Ukrainian diaspora, including those who support MAGA.
Right.
And now they are very unhappy because not only MAGA, but Republicans for strong United States. So they immediately need to demonstrate stronger position, with Ukraine or without. I think the MAGA prefer demonstrated this position without Ukrainian issue. I mean, demonstrate for Putin that Americans ready to new producer of Tomahawk or Minuteman III, and Soviet Union been broken like that. But we do not have this time, and we do not have any willing from the White House. So what they can make or can do, invite President of Ukraine with European leaders and not announce, but make the statement.
Right.
That President Trump, together with European leaders, together with President of Ukraine, as he mentioned many times, after this counterproductive for results meeting, nothing happened, this implement the three types of measures. First, now sign an agreement, as Mr. Donald Trump liked, in his Oval Office, to selling for Europeans another equipment and something sound like a Tomahawk.
But Tomahawk is a serious thing, you know.
Because it's considered by Germans to buy
right,
this.
Okay.
Tomahawk and some additional equipment just to take Ukraine for defense. The second thing, finally, to implement tariffs. Okay, not against China, it's much probably difficult, but some other countries could be in this list. I mean, this Russia receive additional money for the
Okay.
war over the next.
All right.
And third, just demonstrate the strong president, change tactics. As I mentioned, not be one step back, but go ahead Putin initiative in this peace deal.
Be proactive.
Be proactive and
Okay,
be
but-
ahead of that decision. So
How, Mr. Ambassador? What would you do?
I have many things how to implement
Right.
it. But where we are, I think my colleagues who is now in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs,
Right.
Others, they also have not only idea, but they
ways,
have day by
right.
day activity in that. But unfortunately, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs not include enough in that, not include enough some other agencies. What our president needs, crucial need now, having not only this Minister of Defense or Mr. Yermak, who is his closest advisor, but to be prepared to make this as Putin do, as Trump did. So prepared for these negotiations, for this meeting, for this visit, and be prepared much better. That it's a previous time in Oval Cabinet. I'm not just condemn my president about result of Oval Cabinet meeting the previous time, but mostly these Americans who is make
It
not
was a
the right
trap.
way. But
It was a trap. Okay.
it was a trap, but I think we also can be prepared to avoid this trap. But this another type, and I don't want déjà vu. I do not want déjà vu. What President Trump doing something? He repeat by himself in the 45 presidency, but want like to make new picture, avoid mistakes, previous mistakes, as he think.
Right.
And it's happened every time. So for me, it's very easy to predict now, much easy to predict what Donald Trump will do next step, which next step he will do. And, sometimes it's a very spontaneously, sometimes very emotionally. But I believe that closer to midterm election, this group of Republicans will make more advices, and this policy and position of State Department, position of intelligence, be more and more important for President Trump's decision. So, finally, it's probably very difficult to find this balance between the tempers and solutions and possible open window of opportunity. My personal perception before and now, window and opportunity for diplomacy exists, but not now. It could be on fall of this year.
Right.
And before that, it needs like 5 months of pressure to Russia. Very tough pressure.
Very tough pressure.
No other.
Mr. Ambassador, I'm sorry, we just have... I would love to have a more detailed conversation. When you have time, promise me that you visit our studio, and there will be more questions, because I'm full of questions. And you at least shed some light, so at least thank you so very much for your time and for your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.